Good morning, good morning, YouTube viewers. Good morning, Facebook viewers. Good morning, Instagram, as well as WhatsApp viewers. Good morning to everyone. Hope you're having a beautiful Monday morning. Hopefully, everything is going your way and you enjoyed the weekend. Um, Before we start, I want to update you on three topics that are going to be following this one. And all the topics that I've spoken about so far, they all lead into understanding, human nature, understanding the way that, people think, and reshaping our thinking to correspond with how people think, because it allows us to have less stress. It allows us to be more focused, and it allows us to give emotion and anything that we have to give of ourselves, that we're giving it for the right purposes, our purposes, and not so much as bending and twisting to fit other people's narratives. And that by doing this, we become better people. And by becoming better people, we change the world around us. So some of the updates is the upcoming topics is both going to be for the first one's going to be for women, what every woman should know, what every man should know about a woman, and the second one is what every woman should know about a man. So I know that these topics are going to be good topics, because people are going to agree to disagree, but it's something that we need, and it's something that corresponds with the way we think and the way we react. So now, before we start our topic for today, which the topic is projecting onto others, good, bad, or dangerous. Okay, so click that like button, subscribe, so that we can get this out to a lot of people, and share. There's topics, there's a video playlist that you can go through. It's got all different subjects that I talk about and speak about. So, okay, now, projecting onto others. When we talk about projection, we're talking about what we expect, the way we look at someone, and what we project onto them, and what we expect in return. That's what I mean by projection. So, good, bad, dangerous. Today, I want to give three different scenarios, because what I'm trying to do is show you that it doesn't matter the situation, the results are still the same. And by knowing this process, it makes it easier on you to understand the world around you, and how to navigate through it. So, first, I want to ask all the viewers, I want to ask you a question. And the question is, after you hear these three scenarios, who's at fault and why? And when you have the answer, don't share it, don't respond to it. It's not something I want to know. Apply it to your life. So whatever the answer that you came up with, apply that to your life and everything that you do, and you'll see a change. You'll see that things get better by using and applying this. So, who's at fault and why? So we're going to take the first situation, which is going to be a job. So this is something that's experienced on a job. Okay, so we're going to use made up names. Frank. Okay, so Frank works at a local deli. On a day when it's busy, and Frank had returned to the deli from one of his runs, his boss asked him, hey Frank, you think you can stock these shelves? Frank is like, well, I'm waiting for my truck to get loaded so I can take off. But yeah, since I'm here, you need the help, I'll help you. So after Frank finishes, Frank is getting ready, his truck is loaded, he's ready to leave. So now his boss comes out to meet him, going into see what Frank had done as far as stocking the shelves. Because the wrong products were out on the shelves, he walks out, he fires Frank. Alright, so Frank is fired. So now we're going to go to the second scenario, which is going to be a relationship. So the situation is a relationship. So now we went from the job, now we're on a relationship. So now, okay, let's make up Susan. Susan and Kevin have been together for over 2 years. They complete each other's sentences. They enjoy their time together. Kevin wants to take the next step though, and he wants to start a family and tie the knot. So Kevin walks into Susan's office, and all the women in the office, as well as the men in the office, they're all eyes are on Kevin because he's got these flowers, he's got these chocolates, and he's got a diamond ring in his hand. And so he walks over, kneels down to Susan, and he proposes to Susan, and Susan doesn't respond. Susan takes off, runs out of the office, and never speaks to Kevin again. So that's the situation number 2, which is relationship. Now we're going to go from a job to relationship, now to a doctor in a hospital dealing with people with mental issues. And in this case, we're going to use the most famous mental patient ever, in my eyes, is Michael Myers from the movie. So Michael Myers, this doctor, he sells all these books. He's an author, and he's renowned everywhere. So all these doctors, they pay him to teach what he knows because he's just the top of he's the top of his field. So they give him some insight as to Michael Myers. So they say, look, this is a guy that can't be cured, and this is this. He's just a serial killer. It's all he knows. There's nothing inside. So this doctor, he's all filled up with pride and everything, where everything is his way and there's no patient that he can't cure. So he tells these doctors, he says, put him in a room and then do this every day. Put him in a room, with light colors, put him in there with happy pictures, and play happy music all the time. So time goes on, they're doing this every day. So a month goes by. So the doctor's like, going in, and the other doctor's like, we suggest that you let us put restraints on, this person. So the doctor, again, so filled up with pride, is like, no, I got this. So he walks in, he starts to speak to Michael Myers. Michael Myers grabs his pen, and the rest is history. So, we found out that, story ended abruptly, even though, there's a point in all of these stories. So what we find in the stories are that there's projecting in each scenario. People projected what they thought and what they expected. So, and the good way of using projection for us is in regards to Susan. Kevin projected more based on his feelings. By taking the next step, he stopped the situation from going nowhere, even though he did not get the results that he wanted. So Kevin didn't get the results that he wanted. He wanted to marry Susan. But he also knew that time was going by, and it seemed like they were going nowhere. So he knew he had to draw the line somewhere, and things may not work out the way that it should. But he projected that. He knew that by doing this, he knew he expected a different outcome. So he knew that he was expecting something. So now, in a bad way, we're going to look in regards to Frank. Frank's boss, where Frank, he was a driver. He was hired as a driver, and what Frank was also asked to do a job that he had never done, because he wasn't even loading his own truck. So that means that he didn't know anything about loading. All he knew about was just driving, have them load it, and have them take it off. So nor was he asked, nor did his boss ask him, even though he's the one. He asked him to be a driver. He qualified for being a driver. Never once said, hey, do you think maybe if we're backed up, you can stock shelves for us? Never did that. So, Frank's boss assumed that he could do it. So by firing, by firing Frank, not for his driving, but for him helping out. So again, projection, that was a bad way of projecting. To expect something of somebody that, you didn't even know if the person could do it or not. That's a bad way of projection. Okay, and the dangerous, we all know, is Michael Myers. You know, the doctors he disregarded the facts. Some people just can't be cured. Just like, in a relationship, there's some relationships that just can't be mended. There's some interactions that just can't be, no matter what. Just, it is what it is. So, for this doctor, it was all based on pride. The fact that, no one could tell him any different. So, his own pride is what got him, the result that he wanted. And that's what made him walk into a room where, something like that could happen. But, when throughout all of what that doctor wanted, when reality hit, it was too late to do anything. And that's what we want to, do in our lives. We want to be up and we want to be aware. So what my final thought for today is, I want to go one step deeper. So, we understand how projection works, good, bad, dangerous. We know how it works, but let's get deeper. In each scenario, all the victims expected something. So it wasn't something that, they couldn't have stopped on their own. They could have stopped it. So, they could have, in Frank's case, he could have spoke up. In Susan's case, she could have spoke up. In Frank's case, he could have spoke up and said, hey, I don't know how to do this. Susan, hey, I'm not ready for a relationship. Michael Myers, or, the doctor, you know, the doctor that's just stupidity. We don't want to be in a dangerous situation. We don't even want to, we don't even want to focus on being in a situation like that, because whenever you see the signs like that, automatically get out. Don't try to understand something that's not understandable. So they expected something without speaking to the other person first. And this is where, we have to understand that we are all of us, we're all guilty of doing this, of doing the same thing. But we just do it in a healthy way, and we have to make sure that we continue to do things in a healthy way. But when we expect things from others, we have to show that same enlightenment, that we understand that this person or that, that group of people, that they may not be capable of what it is that we're asking for. So this is where we're flipping projection. We're flipping it to understand our roles in all of this. So when we look at a person, we look at how they dress. We think about, where do they work? We look at how they look. We look at how people, identify with the individuals, and that's it. That's, that we think that they're the same like us. We think that, that they, their values are the same, and this is completely untrue. So by getting away from this narrative, it allows you to be a better you, to have a better version of you, because you don't stay in a situation, or if you're in a situation, you make it clear of where it is and what it is that you're doing. And no matter what it is, whether it's on the job, whether it's dealing with social circles, whether it's dealing in a relationship, whether it's dealing with family, whether it's dealing with friends, it doesn't matter. So this is the reason projection leads to heartache. For a lot of people, they get their feelings hurt when they try to do things, project things, and then it doesn't pan out like they projected. So it causes a lot of heartache. But projection, which we're going to use in our way now, we flip that narrative. So we're going to allow that to give us peace of mind by, using, this form of understanding. It allows us a peace of mind. It allows us to focus on a person's actions and not looks or words. When we confront our expectations first, the outcome is different when we look at ourselves and look at what we're able to give and what we want to receive. That has to be a balance within us, and we always have to let others know that this is the balance that is, and if it's not cool, then go your way. But you avoid the problems, you avoid going into la la land, is like I call it. So it allows us to make good decisions, and more importantly, sensible requests of another person. So that's what I had just spoke about, that we request things of people, we project things on people. So by, becoming more familiar with ourselves, it allows us to be, better to everyone that's around us, and everyone around us will understand exactly who we are, so that there's no misconceptions about who we are. And I think that there's too much mystery that we give off, and it's this mystery that causes so much confusion, so much uncertainty, so much game, so much manipulation. So, we're here, and we're changing our way of thinking. We're growing as a whole. So with that, I want to say thank you so much. I'm happy to be here on this Monday with you. Have an awesome day, and we will speak about the next topic that's coming up, which is going to be understanding the mindset. So how important is the mindset? Because we have to understand these things before we jump into identifying, females, and then identifying males. We should understand how these things work up here, because it's very, very different, and it can help you out from your situation and how to navigate through it, or whether it's navigatable to navigate through. So some things that you can't, no matter what, you can't change them. So I want to let everyone go. Thank you for the new subscribers. Lakita Ward, belated happy birthday. I know it was your birthday yesterday, so happy birthday, and happy birthday to Fred Albert as well. So with that, I want to say click, like, subscribe, share, and with that, peace and blessings.